If you're a fan of Discovery Channel's reality series, Gold Rush, then you'll know who Parker Schnabel is. This 30-year-old Alaskan has gold fever in his blood. Born Parker Russell Schnabel in Haines, Alaska, on 22nd July 1994 to parents Roger and Nancy Schnabel, his interest in mining started at the tender young age of 5 while spending time with his grandfather John Schnabel during summer holidays. John had originally bought a claim at Porcupine Creek as a place to bring his children for the holidays. Then the mine started bringing in pots of gold and became known as Big Nugget Mine. When John gravitated towards retirement and stepped back from the daily running of Big Nugget Mine, he gave 16-year-old Parker a golden ticket by handing the management operations over to him. Parker did a fine job of leading a team of seasoned miners almost twice his age. Most importantly, developing the knack of striking gold, so proving himself more than capable in the position. Much to his mother's dismay, instead of continuing his studies, 18-year-old Parker used his college fund to start his own business. He moved to the Klondike in Yukon Territory, Canada, leased land from Tony Beets, and set out to establish new golden opportunities, which started the ball rolling towards a prolific career. Let's find out more about what makes Parker go for gold and his lifestyle, which is not quite what one would imagine of a now multimillionaire. Todd Hoffman came up with the idea of mining gold in Alaska, as his father had done almost 25 years beforehand. He and 5 crew members left Sandy, Oregon, and moved to Porcupine Creek. Todd's team grew, and subsequently they were approached by the production company Raw TV to create the reality TV series initially known as Gold Rush Alaska, which premiered on the 3rd December 2010 on Discovery Channel. As the men hardly had any prior experience and had to learn how to mine riverbeds and use equipment for open-pit mining, the first season was rife with malfunctions. The show was renamed Gold Rush in Season 2, and Parker made his first appearance in 2011 in Episode 3 entitled Virgin Ground when the Hoffman crew arrived in the Klondike. Parker has remained a fixture in the show and in total has featured in 291 episodes to date. Parker also made several appearances in The Dirt and The After Show. These TV series documented what went on behind the scenes whilst filming Gold Rush and feature stage interviews with miners and their crews. This was extended to Pay Dirt episodes and The Dirt Home Edition during the COVID-19 pandemic quarantine periods. Gold Rush has traveled to several locations across the world and spawned many spin-off series such as Gold Rush, Whitewater, Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, and Gold Rush, Dave Turin's Lost Mine. Gold Rush, Parker's Trail launched in the USA on the 24th of March 2017. Parker co-produced the series, and with Rick Ness and their crews, they kicked off Season 1 with an attempt to follow the historic Klondike Trail. Used in the 1897 Gold Rush to the Yukon, it traverses 600 miles of wild mountainous areas, rivers, and lakes. Parker and company traveled over the Chilkoot Pass and found themselves pushing against time as winter's chill began setting in. They were running out of food, so were forced to take a break and go hunting. Almost halfway along the trail, Parker tumbled into freezing cold water, almost derailing the entire expedition. In the last episode, Parker and the crews relate stories of the most arduous journey of their lives. What no doubt made it worth it is that they had mined $13 million of gold during this adventure. In Season 2, Parker and Rick decided to take an even more daring risk and headed off to prospect in the uncharted jungles of Guyana, South America. They survived turbulent rapids, which on one occasion swept Rick away, deadly snakes, spiders, and caiman, a type of crocodile, being bitten by piranhas and hauling their boat up a waterfall. Parker was injured by an uncontrollable water hose while trying to lease ground for mining. They eventually set up a mine in Maruti, the center of the 20th century gold rush, until a fight over local land forced them to escape, dashing their dreams of mining in Guyana. Season 3 commenced with Parker retracing his grandfather John's footsteps in New Guinea during World War II. They encountered the use of toxic mercury and witnessed illegal mining methods. Overall, Parker had a brush with death, and he and his crew faced many dangerous ordeals in Papua. In Season 4, Parker took the hunt for gold into the outback of northern Queensland, Australia. On 17th June 2022, Parker's trail resumed in its fifth season when Parker, Paul Christie, and Dan Etheridge venture with their crews into New Zealand. Once again, they faced harsh environments, scaled a glacier, took speedboat trips along the Kokatahi River, and even dove through shark-infested seas. In Season 6, commencing 7th April 2023, they traveled to Peru, South America, and followed the Incan Trail, then forged into the Bolivian jungle. In Season 7, from the 24th of May 2024, their adventures took them into the Brazilian wilderness, and once again into the jungles of Guyana. Tony Beets was raised in the Netherlands and moved to Canada at the age of 18. He arrived in Dawson City, Yukon in 1984, and after gaining experience in mining, bought his first claim, Paradise Hill in the Klondike. He came from humble beginnings, and his rise to prosperity has been epic. He joined Gold Rush after meeting Todd Hoffman and advising his crew in Season 2. Then when Parker joined the show, Tony mentored him, and they have been in the show together ever since. Tony is a larger-than-life character, known for his rough manner and coarse language. He owns the gold-producing Tamarack mine, and his net worth is now an estimated $15 million. Parker and Tony have been wrangling in an ongoing feud since Season 4 of the series. The whole debacle arose when Parker realized that the structure of his lease agreement meant that the more he mined, the higher the royalty rates, and so the less he ultimately earned. In other words, as he expressed in Season 9, when he hit 6,000 ounces, 25% royalties were due, and at 8,000 ounces, he paid Tony close to $2 million. So what did Parker do? He stopped mining when he hit the 6,000 ounce mark. That was when the squabble really flared up. Tony refused to modify the lease, so Parker looked for cunning ways to bypass paying royalties, e.g. switching wash plants at every 1,500 ounces mined, then switching back. Parker went further by transporting the payload through the leased land to his Klondike claim to flick Tony off. But his jubilation was short-lived when Tony shut down Parker's wash plant. This resulted in a showdown with accusations and derogatory words flung at each other. Todd was a part of Gold Rush from the very beginning, and when young Parker joined later, he soon gained popularity with his outgoing nature and enthusiastic energy. The two became somewhat competitive, with Parker making statements which hinted at, and what Todd later saw as criticisms about his techniques. Where Todd put it all down to a clash of personalities, Parker felt that Todd really didn't like him, and their relationship has since generally been on shaky ground. Parker has a passion for mining and enjoys it. He admits that he admittedly had unrealistic expectations of his employees and at times would lose his temper. But over time, he learned to control himself and be more objective, forgiving of others' mistakes, and conceding that he too could have screwed up. In 2018, Gold Rush, at the time of its Season 9's premiere, was Discovery's #1 rated show. In a live interview by Build, the main players, Parker, Rick, and Tony, shared that on average they spend 6 months digging in the dirt. The most they've got from one pool in one day was about $100,000. The trio are old partners, but often argue, particularly about Tony's ideas on the royalty structure. Rick shared that he'd had enough of the show and left after Season 12. After his mother passed away and he lost the money he'd earned from mining, he fell into depression and turned to drugs. But the veteran miner soon got back on track and returned to the series in Season 14. On the 22nd of November 2024, People magazine interviewed Parker in an effort to find out what he spent his millions on. He reckons he's never really splurged, doesn't even own a house apart from the one on the mine site, and at the time of the interview, he was sleeping on a friend's couch in LA for a few weeks. Most of Parker's cash is spent on activities with people he loves, saying, "I'm a big fan of really solid shared experiences, and that's probably where I spend the most money." He takes his dad to World Series baseball games and his mining crew on a trip every year. He spends money on buying new equipment to improve his operations, and, as he said in an interview with Maxim in 2017, "I don't own a boat or any fancy cars or a fancy house. I have a big expensive sandbox instead." His family is very important to him and has been a big influence on his life. His great-grandfather came to Alaska and eked out a living from the ground up. Parker grew close to his grandfather after spending summers with him on the mining site, and as he listened to the stories his grandfather recalled, was amazed by his great memory. Parker's brother, Payson, became a projects engineer for a civil contracting firm in Arizona. His dad is a partner in the business, and although not actively involved in mining, at the age of 69, he still gets up every morning at 4:30 to go to work, and so has been a great inspiration for Parker. As he stated, anybody can be given a chance at an opportunity. Find something that you love doing, and when there is an opportunity, take advantage of that. Parker has kept his love life pretty much out of the spotlight, and the only relationship that became public knowledge was between himself and Ashley Youle, a veterinary nurse. Ashley was born on the 6th of March 1994 in Melbourne, Australia, and met when he visited Australia on the hunt for gold mining prospects. Ashley appeared for the first time in the 7th season episode of Gold Rush entitled Miracle on the Mountain. She worked in the gold room during that summer and appeared in 18 episodes over 2 seasons from 2016 to 2018. Ashley was known for her sunny personality and was often seen driving a truck or during the weekly weigh-in. Parker credited her as being a huge help to his operation. However, their relationship didn't last long. According to Looper, the actual reason was revealed by Parker in a statement he made in the Season 8 episode, Win Big or Die Trying, in which he announced their break. He said that he felt responsible, exclaiming, "As successful as our season was, there was, for me personally, one pretty big failure." He went on to say that he didn't make their relationship a priority. Neither did he make her a priority, and that Ashley deserves a lot better than that. It was difficult to have a relationship when cameras followed their every move. The crew instigated the big kiss competition, whereby the first guy catching the couple kissing on camera would get a bottle of whiskey. Parker refused to let that happen, even though Ashley tried to change his mind, saying that he didn't want anyone cashing in on that. In Season 5, Episode 6 of the talk show, Gold Rush the Dirt, Parker admitted that he had a lot of undealt with issues in my head that led to the breakup. When he had invited Ashley to join him in North America, she arrived at the time that Parker buried his grandpa, so the timing wasn't great. Parker initially found it difficult and unnerving to be without his grandfather, on whom he had always relied for support. Ashley has never spoken out about her reasons for leaving the show, nor why they broke up, but she has completely deleted all posts relating to her time with Parker from her social media. When Parker went to Australia in Season 4 of Gold Rush Parker's Trail, rumors sparked that he had hooked up with Tyler Mahoney, the miner, model, and star of Discovery's Aussie Gold Hunters. However, it seems that theirs is a friendship, and there's no love story entanglement. Parker has confessed that he's committed his life to mining and reality TV, which hasn't allowed much space for romance. The legendary John Schnabel, born 11th February 1920, passed away on 18th March 2016 at the age of 96, towards the end of 2016, Season 6. He was still active throughout Season 4 in 2014. A special episode, Remembering John Schnabel, was dedicated to him as a memorial. Parker's constant companion for 11 years was his pet dog, Dozer, who passed away in March 2023. We haven't seen the end of it yet. Season 15 of Gold Rush premiered on the 8th of November 2024. Parker, Tony, and Rick take to the screen to deliver more golden moments to their audience. Joining them are Brian Z. Zaremba, Rick's best friend, Troy Taylor, Rick's landowner, Kevin and Mike Beets, Tony's sons, and equipment operator Morgan Lauren, who featured in the Season 14. All episodes of Gold Rush can also be streamed on Discovery Plus and Max. Parker's decision to bypass college and go for the gold culminated in a most lucrative endeavor. When he took over operations at Big Nugget Mine, he dug up 1,029 ounces of gold in his first year. By the age of 24, he'd mined over $13 million worth of gold. Additionally, he earned $25,000 per episode of Gold Rush, which covered crew expenses. As of February 2024, in over 13 seasons, he has mined an estimated 56,000 ounces of gold with a value of over $112 million. Parker is also the owner and founder of Flake Mining, located in Yukon Territory, and a merger between his company and Metallic Minerals in 2023 is proving to be a profitable venture for both companies. 3 mammoth skeletons were discovered in Little Flake Mine, which Parker has decided to hold on to. This developed into a partnership with Chasing Mammoths, founded by Bruce Schindler, called Acre and Stone. They handcraft limited editions of high-quality jewelry made of Schindler gold from the mine certified at 83% purity. Another one of Parker's projects was a collaboration with Alaska Creations run by his cousin, Jacob Wirasinyi, from Haines. Jacob produced spruce gold candles with some of Parker's gold nuggets in the candles, which were a great success and quickly sold out. Parker's net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, is estimated at a very comfortable $8 million. It could be said that this eligible bachelor is certainly worth more than his weight in gold.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.